All right, are we all ready for the next part? Have you learned the harmonic progression yet? Please, if you haven't done so already, watch the previous videos in this series. I'll put a link in the description down below, or you can click on the iCard. As a reminder, here is the line that we're working on. So let's take a look at the conceptual chart. Remember, you can download it as a free PDF from mDecks.com. In this PDF, there are 4 conceptual charts. For now, let's only concentrate on the first one. This chart shows the double time jazz line with the bass playing time, which means we're playing quarter notes on the bass. In our example, you can think about it as playing 2 bass notes per chord. I have organized it in 4 layers. The default chord scale that is suggested for the current function, the function in Roman numeral notation, the line's shape, which shows the rhythm and the degree note that we're targeting. This is the degree of the current scale, then the technique we're using, and down here, the bass line showing the degree we're playing. For example, let's say we're playing in the key of E flat. The 2 of 5 is a C minor 7, as we know by heart since we've been practicing this progression so many times. So the scale we're pairing the C minor 7 with is the Dorian scale. Now the first degree is C, of course, and the bass shows an R, meaning root of the chord, which is also C. I used R to label the first degree of the bass to make the notation more bass-friendly, but it's the same as the first degree. Now the first technique we're using is a diatonic double trap using 3 notes: below the target, above the target, and below the target. Our target is the next note, the flat 3, which is an E flat in C Dorian. So this means we have to play C, D, F, D, and E flat. I'm sure you're thinking, what? All that for 4 notes? This is a waste of time. This is going to take forever. Just write the notes down and let me think it out by myself. Actually, this is the exact opposite of wasting time. The goal when you practice is to transform your playing, which starts by restructuring or remolding your brain. Your brain is always trying to optimize for actions, concepts, and ideas you access frequently. When you just play notes, your brain will record exactly that, notes. My point is that when we look at concepts in detail, think about them, try to understand clearly what's going on, and then practice by playing from these concepts, our brains will create a much better and more robust foundation on which these notes can live. Let's take the first 9 notes of the line. All of the notes under the 2 of 5, a C minor 7 in the key of E flat. We play the first degree, we double trap the flat 3, and then play a 4-note ascending Dorian arpeggio starting on that flat 3. Last note is just the 1 of 5, 7 of 5, which is F7. Also, the bass line is root 5th, and then we land on the root of the next chord. So in C minor 7 to F7, that's C, G, F. So instead of jumping straight into learning these notes by heart and then transposing it to all 12 keys, let's make a list of things we need to know to handle this line with ease. So for every element, ask yourself, do I understand this? Can I play it in all 12 keys? Test yourself. See at which level you're on every single element. If you know it, move on. If not, it's time to learn it. There are 2 paths you can take. For each element, practice it in all 12 keys. Or practice all of the elements in the line in 1 key. Put it together and then work on the other keys. The C Dorian scale. Do I know the C Dorian scale? Let's assume you need to work on the C Dorian. What is C Dorian? Well, it's the mode 2 of the B flat major scale. If you're a piano player, here's a great tip for practicing. Try to incorporate some other concept on your left hand. For example, we can play the root fifth pattern. Try using half notes first, then quarter notes. For an extra challenge, try playing the ascending or descending scale in eighth notes while you play the scale on your right hand using 16th notes, like this. Start slow without a metronome or rhythmic pattern. And then incorporate a click or an entire drum groove to your playing if possible. All of these options are beneficial. No metronome gives you time to think, stop, replay wrong notes, and so on. The metronome helps you develop an internal beat, and the drum groove helps you assimilate the groove and match your playing to the style you're playing in. One more tip for the metronome. Don't just use one click per beat. Try playing with the click on half notes or whole notes. For jazz, you must also practice with the metronome in 2 and 4. This will completely change the way you feel strong and weak beats, allowing you to develop a better swing feel. For classically trained musicians, this is usually one of the biggest challenges because it makes them realize how much they've developed their fixation on the first beat of a bar. If you're a classically trained musician, you'll even have a hard time when you start counting with the metronome. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The diatonic double trap and the Dorian arpeggio starting on flat 3. Sometimes I like to take elements of 2 different techniques and incorporate them into one simple exercise I can practice. Let's play the double trap and the arpeggio together. Now, whenever possible, try to retrograde the pattern you're playing, like hone your practice scales up and down, for example. Now, if that's too hard for me, I like creating an intermediate exercise before. So here, I'm just using the 9th as a passing tone so I can play the arpeggio starting on the flat 3. This will make targeting the flat 3 a bit easier. When I play it without any effort, I can move on to the harder version. Great, so now it's time to practice all these exercises in 12 keys. The next video will be a Dorian challenge, so we can practice together in a question-response format. I'll play the exercise, and then you can play it back. I hope this was helpful. If you want, go check out our website at mDecks.com or browse our YouTube channel for more content like this. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with current content. We'll see you guys next time.